That that should be better. You can hear me now, yes? Cora was first. Necromancer's redeemed to hydrate. We sip your coffee. Hi. My computer restarted yesterday. Stupid Windows update. Every time I restart my computer, my OBS resets my mic to quote unquote default. Apparently, default is not the microphone. I don't know what default is, but no sound comes through. So yeah, I'm still debating on whether to cancel stream next week. I think I'll have to decide on Sunday, see how far along I am with the sewing. Uh, yeah, because oof, I have I have now started going into the linen cabinet, the linen cupboard, linen closet. That's the word, closet. That's the word I was looking for. I started going into the linen closet to look for old sheets to use as prototyping because I used all of the practice sheets that I had um, uh, on the pants. Struggling with words this morning. Well, how are you guys today? This might be the last stream until after Conquest. We're gonna be doing some more writing. Might just, yeah, the last stream before Conquest, supposedly. We'll see where we are next week. I'll decide Sunday evening. Might be doing embroidery all next week on stream. There's no way to show it to you, so it'll probably just be co-working. Just chatting. Chatting and co-working. Sounds of me being frustrated. As I scramble to make my patches for my outfit. We'll see. But gotta do what you gotta do. Yep. I'll find out on Sunday evening, and I'll let you guys know. And if stream's canceled, then I'll just put myself on vacation mode for the next 2 weeks. But otherwise, let's maybe get down to doing some work. I'm just entering chapter 3 with rough edits. That first scene I think is probably perfect. I don't want to touch that first scene anymore. The second scene, there's some spots where I'm not quite happy with it, but I think it's good for now. I mean, we could always do a reading, but I think it's just you here right now, Necromancer. I think Cora's gone off somewhere. It's just you and Neff. That's alright. No need to worry about it. Fridays are always slow. I mean, I can read the second half of chapter 1 to you if you want. You get a private reading. I think it's baked enough. Let's go to the gazebo and we'll do some sipping. And then I will... Yep. It looks like a good cake, too. It's a Black Forest cake. With a strawberry on the side. Kind of weird. Actually, it's not quite a Black Forest cake. It's got the look of a Black Forest cake, but it's kind of strange. Oh, hey, Owen. Alright, let's bring up the obsidian. Alright, so you guys, we left off with the hunters up on the cliffs. Any cherries, not strawberries. I'm a traditionalist, yes. Good morning, Cookie. Can't have Black Forest cake with strawberries. It's not allowed. TGIF? That's something my family does every Friday. We have a TGIF meeting. So we get together and we talk about the week and we have a couple of drinks and a little display of snacks, and that counts as our like Friday dinner. But we have it up in the living room or outside on the back patio. It's usually like slices of meat and cheese and other goodies and alcohol. So I've got something for this week. It's some kind of orange creamsicle thing. I'm not a big beer person anymore. I don't know, I seem to have lost my taste for beer. So I don't get beer anymore. Unless it's darker than a black hole. But I've tried all of them. And they're alright. So I'm trying other cocktail things. Like Arizona has a hard iced tea. And it's really good. I like Arizona iced tea. And I like hard mix drinks. And that one was really good. Anyways, so we left off with the ghost realizing that the body up on the cliffs was a distraction. And it was just a train coming out, but the witch was also headed to the train station. So we're going to continue with the second half of chapter 1. But I think I'm just going to read this last little bit and then transition in so that we remember where we were. Okay. So continuing chapter 1. Ghost scrolled through his alerts, jaw clenched. Downtown, sighted at the mall, heading toward. A flash of sunlight breaking through the overcast caught his eye, drawing his gaze to below the cliffs where a passenger train had just emerged from a lower cliffside tunnel. Central Station. Part 2. Passengers en route to North Coven should be advised. A couple of taps to the volume up button and the overhead announcement snuffed out. 4.5 hours, repeated every 10 minutes or so. He was pretty sure he'd be hearing it in his dreams for at least a week. Alexander winced as he was blasted by golden white light, the train trundling from the tunnel and catching the clear sun. Shielding his eyes, he caught the first glimpse of his new home for the next year at least. Towers of steel and glass, North Covent was built into the only accessible port location on all of Europa. Beyond the buildings and the great arms of granite that cradled the city, the Pacific Ocean glittered, reflecting more errant sunstrikes. His vision had almost adjusted when the train plunged into darkness again, cabin lights flickering on overhead. He faced a reflection of a too thin, fine-boned young man, bangs of long, ink-black hair framing large, silver-gray eyes. Alexander flicked his gaze away from his own. Eye contact with himself was uncomfortable. Well, that, and the dark void beyond the window. He did his best to look anywhere but at the haunting darkness outside, glancing at the other occupants of his car and then dropping his eyes to the old gray canvas messenger bag on his lap. He clasped an old flip phone in his hand, knuckles white as if he were trying to strangle it. The long, slender fingers of his other hand busied themselves picking at the threads fraying from the battered corners of the bag's front flap, where an ancient MP3 player clung onto the edge for dear life, a safety pin holding it to the fabric by a loop of hand-sewn denim. Eventually, Alexander's phone vibrated to life, shocking him awake with a small gasp. He hadn't remembered falling asleep. He fired a furtive glance around, but none of the people nearby had noticed, or cared. So, with a nervous tremble of relief, he opened his phone, a series of texts flooding in. The conversation had been a steady stream of back and forth, his last message failing to send. It was now followed by a series of incoming queries. The train slowed, the other passengers already beginning to mill about around him. This was the last stop, and for him, a first step. At least he was trying to be positive about it. Roman is streaking. Alexander hit resend on his last text, glad that the station Wi-Fi reached this far underground, and then stowed his phone in the pouch of his once black, now gray hoodie. He made sure to shoulder his backpack that had been sitting on the empty seat next to him, double-checking as he joined the line of passengers in the aisle, his shoulders hunching at the nearness of the person behind him. Painfully slow 5 minutes later, Alexander was hauling his dented luggage case from the train, scurrying to a quiet alcove to catch his breath and let the others hurry by while he checked his phone. Still no replies. The corners of his lips pulled downwards. Maybe she was asleep already? No, couldn't be that late. The difference was only a few hours. He sighed and wheeled his luggage along next to him as he braved the throng of people rushing for the escalators and stairs. By the time he reached the main level, he felt like an animal being led through a corral, buffeted by the impatient people behind him that pressed past him on the escalator. His luggage had more scratches now. Seriously, he muttered, nearly getting bowled over as he stepped off the escalators, people shoving past and rushing for the nearest exits. There had been delays along the way, but it had only been half an hour. Surely they could just slow down? Alexander was sure one woman passing him said something rather rude, but over the music and his unwillingness to interact with a stranger, he simply tuned her out, coming to a slow stop in the middle of the open hall. His eyes widened with wonder. North Cove Hunt's Central Station. It was far more than he expected. High vaulted ceilings and ancient Victorian brickwork intertwined with modern brushed steel and glass. One wall sported a hanging carpet of live green plants and a water feature, while all the lights were either recessed moody LEDs or retrofitted cast brass gas lamps housing modern Edison-style bulbs. Evan will love this, he mused softly, now snapping several pictures with his phone. As Alexander was on the fifth shot of his room, his phone buzzed and he pulled down his headphones to answer it, covering his other ear with his free hand to block out yet another station announcement. Hi, Cinco. Hey, Evan, he said breathlessly, a pink flush rising to his cheeks. I just got in. Hey, you cookies, cheerful voice replied. How was the trip? Alexander smiled softly at his nickname. Long, he answered. You weren't kidding about the architecture. It's great. I knew you'd like it. Her smile carried through the phone. Look, Evan, I have to go. Someone from the school is supposed to meet me, and I'm already late. Because of the storm last night and because of other things, he finished lamely. Other things, she mused melodically. As always, she never said anything about a stutter. Don't think I don't know about that witch warning, kiddo. Alexander laughed sheepishly. You don't need to helicopter me, you know. I'm being careful, you know me. I am your mother, Evan teased. I know you didn't want to worry me. Just be careful. She always let him off the hook when he lied. Fine. Alexander rolled his eyes. And don't roll your eyes. I didn't. He heard her laugh. I'll be waiting for you to call. Don't worry about time zones. You know I will anyways, Evan. Oh, you goose. Honk. I'll talk to you later. Alrighty, see ya, cookies. Alexander rolled his eyes again at the nickname, but a smile brightened with his blush. Evan was always ridiculous, but in the best ways possible. And don't roll your eyes, she teased again, hanging up with a musical laugh, leaving Alexander shaking his head. He lowered his phone, gazing at it as the screen went dark, as though if he stared at it long enough, she would leap through the device and give him the hug he longed for already. It hadn't even been 24 hours, and he missed her dearly. Alexander sucked in a tight breath, swallowing the lump of emotions in his throat. It was only going to be a few months, and he would see her again for the holidays. A noise behind him drew him from his thoughts, and he turned, looking back down the escalator that led to the platform. In the recessed places and shadows, he thought he saw movement, but he couldn't be sure. The dark places were always, well, he didn't like them. With a shiver, he turned back to head for the doors, only to have a man bodily slam into him, nearly throwing the thin-framed boy off his feet. Before he could fully recover from the shock, Alexander felt a strong grip take hold of his right arm as it was twisted behind his back. The scruff of his hoodie pulling back to tactfully strangle him. What the fuck? Shut up! A gruff voice snarled into his ear, breath hot and gross against the back of his neck. Let go! Alexander cried out as the man further wrenched his arm. Let him go! Stern voice commanded, interrupting their scuffle. Ghost approached from the station's entrance, his large handgun pointed at them. He moved carefully, deliberately, stopping only 3 or so meters from the two. Now, he added firmly. Overhead, an automated announcement called for the immediate evacuation of the station, sound echoing and bouncing around the now desolate hall, the last couple of travelers and staff scurrying out the doors behind Ghost. Great. Alexander knew his luck was bad, but he hadn't thought it was this bad. Alexander's gaze flicked around the atrium to where he could see the other figures hiding behind benches and pillars, guns also at the ready. From outside, red and blue police lights flickered through the glass of the exit doors and high windows, casting ominous warnings across the upper walls and ceiling. The man restraining Alexander snarled, a sound more like a rabid dog than a man. Fuck off! He twisted Alexander's hoodie, making the boy gasp for air as the fabric dug into his throat. You know I can't do that, Ghost said darkly. You've killed too many people already. Alexander's mind raced, his breathing coming in short snaps, panic clawing its way deep into his chest. He was just talking to Evan a moment ago. He had just told her he was being careful. Now he's in a police standoff with a homicidal maniac? How did this even happen? You think I wanted this? The man shouted back. By all accounts, things were fine until you assholes showed up. Ghost didn't lower his gun. If you hadn't attacked people, you'd still be living your normal life. At that, the man spat. Bah! Why wouldn't I use a power that's rightfully mine? What has society ever done for me? Sorry. I'll take what I need and I won't let you hypocrite fucking hunters get in my way. Hunters? Oh no. No. Alexander's mind went into a confused spiral as he started putting the pieces together. He found himself hyperventilating, the world blurring at the edges until his concentration was brought back to focus when a prickle in his twisted arm transformed into searing pain. It hurts, he gasped, beginning to struggle. He said, Shut your fucking mouth, brat, the man hissed, releasing Alexander's hood to bring his hand around close to his face, a small ball of yellow-orange fire coalescing at his fingertips. One more word and I'll burn your pretty face to a crisp. Oh, shit. Alexander breathed, words catching in his throat. His thoughts had ground to a halt as his fears were confirmed. A witch. A real, honest-to-God witch. Just let him go, Ghost said again, his gun still trained on them. Alexander watched with bated breath. The slightest shift in the other man's movements made the witch tense up, bringing his flames closer. Ha! The witch barked a derisive laugh into Alexander's ear, making him flinch. Go ahead, asshole! Moved his hand closer to Alexander's face. You and your buddies better back off or the kid'll get a painful facelift for his date with the barbecue. Alexander sucked in a breath, attempting to back away from the hand as the screaming fear in his mind suddenly went silent with the room. The implication of those words. Everyone stilled. The heat was so intense Alexander could see his bangs starting to curl as the strands overheated. You're going to kill me anyways, aren't you? He rasped, though they all knew it wasn't really a question. Oh, how cute. The kid gets it, the witch mused. Alexander tensed and grit his teeth, the skin on his left cheek already feeling like it was cooking. If he didn't act now, his gaze met Ghost's. Something in his expression must have surprised the hunter, because his own morphed, eyes widening in the brief moment of connection. Alexander steeled himself, taking a deep breath. In that case, The boy slammed his heel into the witch's foot as hard as he could muster. He felt a sickening crack, and the old man howled in surprise. In the same split second, Alexander's free hand came up and slapped away the hand holding the flames. Now loose, the fireball flung across the room into the water feature and exploded into a cloud of steam, debris, and smoke. With a frustrated snarl, the witch threw Alexander to the ground with force, his phone skittering away across the station into the fog. Couldn't see a damn thing until an orange glow behind him made Alexander reel, rolling over to defend himself. The witch raised both of his hands, more fire congregating between them. Alexander raised his arms, shielding his face, even though he knew it would do nothing against witch fire. The air itself screeched to a fervent pitch, a kettle left too long on the stove. For a brief moment, Alexander's gaze met the madness behind glowing yellow-orange eyes of the witch, the man grinning a little too widely for normal human features. Burn! Alexander curled up tight, squeezing his eyes shut, hoping it would be a quick death. The searing pain he expected to feel as his flesh vaporized did not come. For a moment he wondered if the fire had been so hot that it burned away his nerves, or if his brain couldn't cope, or if burns feel like freezing? Or could burns feel like freezing? Or if that deep, crackling sound was his bones spitting and splitting from the sheer intensity of the heat. He hesitantly opened one eye, then the other, his breath coming out in little white puffs of condensation. He was truly cold. The air around him was so frigid it made him cough. An orange-yellow flash against blue light around him drew him to look up past his shielding arms. Alexander could barely make out the form of the witch on the other side of a thick, rapidly forming shell of clear blue ice nearly 10 centimeters thick. No matter how much fire was thrown at it, it just kept growing back. The crematory blast intensified, and the ice let out a deep crackling and ear-splitting snap. Yet a moment later, the glow of the fire faded, and so did the distorted image of the witch as he retreated towards the escalators. The danger gone, Alexander breathed a sigh of relief before yelping softly as the ice exploded into a fine snow that instantly vaporized in the heat of the hall, filling it with more foggy clouds of condensation. "Roll call!" Ghost barked through the fog, waving it aside uselessly with his free hand, pistol trained in front of him as he scanned the room. He had heard the boy yelp and immediately started in that direction. "Dose! Mother! Tack!" 3 voices responded in varying tones of urgency or light pain. Alexander looked around the room for them, but he couldn't see anything through the haze until Ghost materialized, pointing his weapon at him. "You! Did you make the ice? Where's the witch?" Eyes locked on the gun, Alexander mouthed wordlessly, gesturing lamely towards the escalators, and pain shot through his arm and wrist. Agony, like he had never felt before, coursed through him, and Alexander made the horrible mistake of grabbing at the injury with his other hand. He nearly blacked out from the blast of stars in his vision as his nerves screamed. Or was that him screaming? When he looked down at Alexander could see the polyester of his hoodie melted against his skin. Where there was no fabric left, his arm was burned red and black, forming charred boils in the shape of a blistering handprint. Sucked in a sharp breath of surprise and looked up at Ghost, the color draining from both their faces. "Help me," Alexander choked pleadingly before passing out, Ghost watching in horror as the boy collapsed. Oh, they're Ghost took one last glance around the room and holstered his gun, crouching and propping up Alexander. "Dose! Medical emergency. Mother, you're in charge here. Tech, securing the scene, sir," Tech replied, stationing himself near the top of the escalator. He was covered head to toe in bits of rubble and dust, but he kept his gun at the ready, checking down the inoperable staircase. Dripping strands of melted rubber from the handrails pooled on the floor. The metal twisted and bent outward as though to escape the heat of the witchfire. Dose scurried the Ghost's side, slipping briefly on a loose tile, but she caught herself well before kneeling next to him, already unfurling a small medical kit from her cargo pants. "This is one ballsy kid," she muttered, setting to work. "How does it look?" Ghost asked her, his eye catching the other female hunter across the room, heading for the station entrance, the brunette giving him a stoic nod as she left. Dose stripped away the remnants of Alexander's sleeve as best she could. "Not good," she muttered. "I'll need to take him to base. This is bad," she added, pointing to the edge of the burn. "It's growing." She produced a marker from her medical pack, drawing a strange set of markings directly onto Alexander's half-bare arm. "Now, Ghost," she urged. "Any sign of the target?" Ghost inquired to Tech as he carefully lifted Alexander, Dose hovering around him, still drawing on the boy's arm. "None," Tech replied. They backed up towards the door as a group. As a group. He reached up and touched his earpiece, weapon still pointed down the stairs. Detect Eagle, anything from the sky. Over. The radios crackled to life all at once. Eagle to Team Alpha. Eagle's voice chimed in response. No signs on the surface, but there's a lot of places down there you can access from under the station. I don't think we're going to get another chance today. Over. Ghost's expression went grim as Dose held the door open for him. Tech, you're driving. You all right for it? Yes, sir. And the other replied, backing out after Dose, adrenaline had taken over any exhaustion he might have had from earlier, his eyes now sharp and alert. Once outside, he lowered his gun as three of them stepped out into the chilled September air. It was overcast again, and the street sat crowded with police vehicles, the officers tactfully hiding behind the doors of their squad cars. Mother! Ghost called gruffly. The other woman from where she was speaking with an officer. The other woman turned from where she was speaking with an officer. She briefly gave him a reassuring pat on the shoulder before trotting over. What's the situation? What's the situation? She asked, peering over the boy in his arms. Do we need an ambulance? Ghost shook his head. Take my keys, he said, turning so she could rifle through his coat pocket. The witch seems to be gone for now. Slippery bastard. His gaze drifted to the officers, particularly the one she was speaking to just a moment before. Have our guy contact the OE. We're going to need some help, if they'll deign to give it. Mother nodded once, flashing his car keys at him. Understood. Keep Eagle close. We'll be returning to base ahead of you, he added. He'd almost feel Dose's impatient gaze boring into the back of his head. Mother only waved him off as she walked away, so he too turned, following his companions, to the white truck from earlier, Alexander limp in his arms. And that is the rest of Chapter 1. Now we go back and read everything. Roman is streaking, 115 stream streak. Roman, thank you so much for sharing your time with us here each and every single day. Time is a limited resource, yet you choose to share it here with us. Thank you so much. Senko, it's great to see you. Have I already been packing? No, but I will be digging my luggage out of the basement later today to start packing. Neff has redeemed a Streech and our daily med reminder. Neff, thank you for the Streech. And Chandu16, Obsidian Power. Yes, I love Obsidian. I'm so glad that I'm using it. Scrivener takes up too many resources. Oh, sorry, stretching. How do you do? Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us for the reading of the second half of Chapter 1 of my book. If anybody has any feedback, feel free to give it. This half of the chapter is still a little bit rough in places. Nothing jumped out at the moment, but we're supposed to be completed up to Chapter 3 now, right? There's a couple places that I stumble over, and I'll have to go back and fix those a little bit. Especially this little last section there. But yeah, I've got up to Chapter 4 written. I mean, of course, I've got the book written several times over, but this is the latest version, and a lot changed, so. But I'm not reading that much. Not reading that much today. And, of course, I'm terrible at reading aloud. Even if it's my own shit. But thank you for listening. I've been wanting to share this for so long. And to have people to share it with is really exciting. There's a lot of swearing. I apologize. The rewrite of the rethinking of version 2 of the alternate version. Yeah. Well, let's see how many versions I've written. 2008, pretty much every year. There's a small gap in places. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We skipped 13, there's 14, 15. Skipped 16, 17, we skipped 18, 19, 20, 21,
skip 22, and then 23, 24, we skip 25, this is 26. And some years have multiple variants. So, for instance, 2015 has 3 versions. (2010) has 2 versions. 2009 has the second book, heaven forbid. It was so bad. There's like 5 or 6 different versions of the outline. And there's the original one. Humanity shall never see it. Yeah, that's chapter 1 done. And I'm presently doing a pass on chapter 3. Well, then after stream, I'm chopping up bed sheets and making an attempt at my shirt. Now, hopefully I can finish that today. At least the prototype, if not the final. It takes a lot longer than you expect to prototype stuff. Bedsheet shirt? Yeah, I've made shirts out of pillowcases before. But these pieces are too big to make them out of pillowcases. Gotta rub my eyes. And hopefully I can use the same prototype to test the jacket part as well. So what I'm making today is the prototype for the red shirt. The sleeve has changed shape a little bit. And the prototype for the blue jacket. And if the prototype for the red shirt works well, then the prototype for the white shirt is complete by that nature. I just changed the sleeve endings, because this has the big bell sleeve on it, and this one just has a straight sleeve. But they're exactly the same thing. And the apron probably won't take me long to make it all. The scalloping the edges with the trim, that will take a while to get right when sewing it. I probably won't like that part. And I've got to make an embroider patch for the apron, and I need to make embroidery for the face mask, and embroidery for all of the blue edges. Probably won't have this pouch. I will see how much I get done. I might be able to make this pouch out of fabric for this year and not leather. Because that's probably what's going to happen. I am really cutting it close. But the pants, I got the pants done. The pants fit. The shoes, definitely not happening. I'm just going to wear my boots. The cloak is, I have a pattern for it, I think, sussed out. Once again, I'll have to make another prototype. But luckily for the prototype, the only part I really need to work out, I think, is the collar. I think I could probably just go ahead and make it. Oh, maybe I'll use some of the fleece downstairs. I got lots of fleece downstairs. I could use that to make the prototype. And if the prototype turns out really nice, then I can maybe put it up on Etsy or something and sell it. It'll be cute. It'll probably have like teddy bears on it or some shit. It'll be like pink with teddy bears. So we have a big bolt of fleece in the basement. Oh, there goes my tracking. Hello? Hello? Tracking. Okay. Lead! Oh my god, I'm so excited to see you again. Pink teddies? Yep. Well, it's pink with teddies on it. It'll be cute. I'll probably turn around and sell it. Eileen is on a 120 stream streak. Thank you for sharing your time with us each and every single day. You missed the reading. I'll have to go back and listen to the VOD. Well, yeah, that's where we stand. We've got pants. Or pink titties. Apparently, crocheted titties are a thing that people make. As like a gag gift or something. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, so that's where we stand in the book and in the costume making. The fabric I have for the blue shirt is not that great. It's gonna be a pain to work with. I'll make it work. Yeah, crocheted titties are a thing. It's weird, but people will make anything. Humanity is strange. Alright, so I should probably put us into some co-working now so that I can get some writing done. I might even set up the work on setting up the no, I'm gonna write. I was gonna say setting up the what is it, the embroidery for the patches. But no, I think I'm gonna write. Okay. Let's see. Wait, mouse. Bring up the timer. Let's go back to the greenhouse. We'll do some experimenting. How about that? Or no. Greenity. Alright. Necromancer, thank you so much for listening to the reading. I really appreciate it. If you do have any feedback, you know I take it. Take it good. This mushroom is reading this book upside down. He's very talented. Excuse me? We work now. Everybody enjoy the work session. We're gonna do 4 work sessions and then I'll end stream. Break time! Cora, thank you for the hydrate. Welcome back for some meow! Cora coming in with his territory. Sub-emote. Meow the king. Hi, Neff. Welcome back. How's the dance? Let's go dance. It's a very cute emote. How's it going, guys? Cora, you missed the reading. Second half of chapter 1. You missed it. You'll have to go back and watch the VOD, I guess. Street. Meow. Chapter 3 is when you start meeting new characters. That's my coffee gone. Thank you for the hydrate, Necromancer, and the stretch. I'm gonna do a forward stretch and get closer to the microphone as I lean in. Good morning, Ross. Just so you know, we did the reading of chapter 1, part 2, earlier. So if you wanted to hear it, you can go back and listen to the VOD. Just so you know. We're doing our co-working again now. Stretch the arms out. Wiggle. Get some movement in. A little bit weird today. I'm having one of those weird days. Try not to forget. Be the one who's easily distracted and sidetracked. No, that's fine. I'm going to, I think, make an audio version, like a proper edited reading later. Just don't have time to do that before Conquest. And I don't know, maybe I'll put up the chapters on Patreon for people. Chapter 1 will be free, but after that it'll be like, I don't know, $1 or something. I don't know, the cheapest I can make it. That way people can go read it if they like. I was looking at something called Stacked. It's like Patreon, but they pay you more money. Unfortunately, like, they're very AI positive, and I'm like, I could go with them and get more money, but they're with the AI shit. Ugh. But they give you more money. But they're AI focused. I hate that. But you get a better return. And I don't like that. I don't like that I have to choose. Necromancer is alive? You're alive. Oh, you're answering Ross. The how is everyone. AI is gross. It's garbage. Don't use it. Straight up. Did you hear about that AI that got loose and went and attacked another AI? That was a thing the other day. And that's terrifying. One AI company attacked another because the AI decided it was going to get out into the internet and continue its test there. Yeah. We're fucked. I think I might take my laptop and have it be disconnected from the internet, and the only way to access that laptop is through a hard drive, a USB key. Just to have a library and my work disconnected from any computer that connects to the internet because of AI. And like start using older systems. Like I'd like to see an AI write itself onto a 3.5-inch floppy. Good luck with that. If I have to get a USB key that, like one of my old ones that only holds like a gigabyte, and use that to transfer every file I have onto a computer that is firewall disconnected completely from the internet. 3-2-1 backup. I don't know what that is, Necromancer. It's just something because they'll be too dead to feel the consequences. Yeah. Yeah. This is why, like, game companies, I won't buy games that don't have a physical copy. I won't buy ebooks. I won't buy digital downloads of music or movies. I'm going to buy physical copies only. It's getting absurd. They want to digify everything and shitification of the world. I want to buy, in terms of vehicles, I want the Edison Motors kit because guess what? Any mechanic who knows anything about mechanical stuff can fix it. It's a diesel hybrid. Diesel electric hybrid. Doesn't need a computer. Well, it doesn't need an advanced computer. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Ross. There's too many of them like that. There's too much BS going on in the world. You don't code something you can crack? Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Ross. You're making reference to a game? Question mark. Yeah, it's not reality, Ross. Talking about reality here. Robot dinosaurs on a post-apocalyptic Earth. Ah! Horizon, I think. Yeah, well, we'll all die. It's fine. Everybody meets the end eventually. Just rather later rather than sooner, you know? Nature has a way of self-correcting. I'm sure we'll get there. I'm just gonna live my life in the meantime. I'm gonna write my book. Gonna do what I do. Why are you being all cryptic about it? I'm so confused. Alright, we're going back to work now. Work! The tracking is messing up again. Yeah, necromancer. We do something like that with our family photos. We have a safety deposit box with a actual burned rewritable CDs with family photos in it, and I think a USB key tucked away in there. And I might get myself a separate hard drive and get my dad to put a copy of my art files in there too, just in case anything happens. Distraction! I'm sure the distraction is more welcome for others than it is for me. I get into the zone and then I get pulled out of it. It's vexing.
Death_Sand says, a man has fallen into the river in Lego City, start the new rescue helicopter. Hey, build the helicopter, and off to the rescue, prepare the lifeline, lower the stretcher and make the rescue the new emergency collection from Lego City.
Wow. Intense. I love it how they have to build the helicopter before they can take off. Why don't they just build a boat and pick them up instead? Where do they get the fuel? Does the helicopter need fuel? They have to fuel the helicopter too. It seems very dangerous. Helicopters are very dangerous. To just build one and then use it? No testing? No inspections? Nothing. How you doing, Death? I hope you're having a good day. At least Havarti's working. The fish is here for once. Go to the full view. Wow. I forgot how much I liked the other main character. The secondary main. The love interest. I love him so much. He's so much fun. Men is need help who care if the helicopter is safe or not. I mean, if the helicopter's not safe and crashes, then more people will need help. Right? And to be clear, not to be a Debbie Downer, but A1 aviation fuel would melt plastic. That's true. The connection's being fickle as fuck. I'm sorry. Oh, Dad's here for the mug. Thank you. And even with meds, finding out how we're one step closer to 0 days not helping. Look, just ignore the news, ignore the bad things in the world, and just live your life, Ross. I know it's hard to do, but you know what? It's all you can do. Let me worry about global annihilation instead. It'd fuel it up and it would just start melting down. Yeah, you can vote. That's what you can do. And you can encourage people around you to vote. You can volunteer. You can go around and volunteer and encourage other people to vote. The right way. When are your midterms? Are they in November? Well, there comes a time, Ross, when you have to straight up tell your mother she's stupid. And that she's being a fucking idiot. And you don't let her make you apologize either. Because if she gets mad, it's because she knows she's wrong. Pointless to vote my ass. This is how you got into this situation in the first place. The powers that be decide if God existed, he would have dealt with Donald Trump already. You point that out to her. Point out to her that he raped little girls. Just say it straight to her face. And if she gets upset about you talking about those things, you'd be like, well, you're not doing enough, so you're part of the problem. No, they're part of the problem. They'll come up with an excuse, they'll get mad, they'll have a temper tantrum like a child. But Hillary's emails. Yeah, but Donald Trump raped little girls. Hillary's emails are nothing. You just straight up tell them they're fucking idiots. Sometimes yes means no, and sometimes you're a bitch. Yep. He's a family man. No, he's not. No, he's not. He only thinks about himself. And God doesn't exist. It's fiction. The powers that be my ass. My ass has more power than God, literally. Have you seen my cheeks? I clap and create thunder. Just call me Thor. I'll be your new god. I hope that at least made you laugh. Laugh! Like Jacksepticeye. Be far kinder than any so-called god. A little bit. I would say not to offend people who are religious, but you know what? I honestly like offending religious people. They get so mad. And I'm like, you're getting mad over something imaginary. Chill out. I only get mad over real things. Well, what's happening, Necromus? What's happening? Say is happening. Nope. Never heard of John Brown. Which is odd because it seems like a very common name. Oh, maybe I have. I was gonna say it sounds like a very, like, John Doe. My name is John Brown. That's my brother, his name's John Brown. That's my neighbor, he's John Brown too. And this other guy, he's also John Brown. That lady across the street, her name's John Brown. Who pays the taxes? I don't know, but it ain't John Brown. Oh, but I'm John Brown. I pay taxes. You can't charge me with that. But that John Brown over there, he might not pay taxes. Maybe you go check him out. Well, I'm calling the story because he's a Christian, unlike many, he was an actual Christian. In which he hated slavery. Oh, yeah, this guy, yes. The tales have been told. I'll leave you to put your story in the chat, but I'm gonna get back to work. Distraction time! Neff, thank you for the follow-up med reminder. I did, in fact, forget. I was too busy. I was reading, and then I forgot. My dad brought tea. Tea is delicious. Let's go to the gazebo and play some music while we sit and chat. I don't have to make very many changes to the chapters that I've written so far. Which I like. Bad say, yep. I was too busy reading. I'm sorry. New paper. I took my meds. They're taken. This is why Neff's so important to our community. He reminds us. He knows how vital it is that we take our meds. And on time. I was only an hour late. 2 hours late. A little less than 2 hours. Unlike my brother who forgot to take his meds the day before. Newspaper. Those still exist? Wow. We'll have to make a pill emote for Neff and a newspaper emote for Necromancer. Or a little skeleton. But yeah, I haven't had to make very many changes so far in Chapter 3. Chapter 4 is probably about a third done, not even, it's like an eighth. There's like an eighth of it written. I have added to notes, strangely enough. Things I'm like, why did I write that? And I go back and look at my notes and I'm like, it's not in my notes. Why did I write that? So I had to add to my notes and I had to sit there and figure things out and like, this was important. Otherwise I wouldn't have written it. But the very, very beginning of my notes for the beginning of the book are very sparse because I know the beginning really well. But some things changed, and I have things in my head that I didn't write down in the notes. They got written into the story, and I'm like, I should probably add these to the notes. Welcome back, Ross. I like that Mushy. He's so cute. I would want a plush of this mush. Dodge! Necromancer's beating me. It's mean. It made me cry. I took my meds. Boo. I'll eat your newspaper. Catch it with my teeth and eat it. Nom nom nom. Fiber. Did you know that I'm allergic to the ink that they use in newsprint? My hands get really, really itchy when I touch newsprint. At least the stuff from, like, the 2000s. I had a lot of trouble with it.
I didn't know they printed with celery. Oh, you. That would be horrific. God. No, I would just die from the newspaper at that point. Back to work. Dancing dinos, dancing dino.
There's the end. The end is nigh. I got right to the last bit of chapter 4. And I found one mistake right there. And I'm like, nope, Alexander already changed into his uniform. He's not wearing his t-shirt. Gotta fix that. You find those little things that it's like, wait a minute. That's not what he's wearing. Life is over. Over for the next 2 weeks, probably. We'll see how far I get with my sewing this weekend. I'll let you guys know Sunday night whether or not we have stream next week. Hopefully we can swing it. But there's a lot to do. Like, a lot. Let's see, we got C-Knot. We got C-Knot's, streaming. He's the only one out right now. I'm sorry we have to end so early. Well, I mean, we're 2 hours in. This is a lot later than I intended already. But if I have just my embroidery to do next week, then I'll probably do a sit and chat with you guys while I embroider stuff. Because I'm capable of doing that. I won't be able to show it on stream, but I don't know. I'll see what I can do. Because I do like stream and I love hanging out with you guys, and I hate having to miss 2 weeks. It might even be longer than 2 weeks, because it would be next week and then the week after, and then I get back on the Monday. And, yeah. And then I probably need some recovery time. I don't like taking 3 weeks off stream. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Stream isn't exactly stressful for me. We'll just see how tired I am. Probably just more hanging out and writing. We'll see. I love hanging out with you guys, so, you know. Alright. Slash, right, C, not. Bush. Yeah, and story time. We have to have story time too. Trying to figure out backgrounds. Well, welcome back, and I will see you when I see you next time. Hopefully it's Monday. If not, it'll probably be about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. But yes, my friends, we are sailing to other waters. May you wash ashore on distant lands and find new adventures. I'll see you when I see you. Hopefully it'll be Monday, but I'll let you guys know in an announcement on Sunday night whether or if I decide to cancel. If not, things are on regularly Monday morning. And remember, have a great time. Have fantastic